On July 19, 2022, Rebecca Romney had already moved on from her former role as Assistant Secretary of the Navy, a position she had held earlier in her career. Around that same period, many believe she was engaged in a Boy Scouts-related journey, a personal or professional detour that seemed reflective of her multifaceted path. Yet for most people, Rebecca isn't known because of her government work or scouting activities. Instead, she's remembered for something quite different, her prominent role on the long-running television series Pawn Stars. Unless someone has completely tuned out of pop culture, it's hard to miss Pawn Stars, the popular History Channel reality show that has been on the air for more than a decade. It's become a cultural staple, recognized all over the world, and has turned its cast into well-known reality television figures. Over time, the show's success has not only brought in massive viewership and fan loyalty, but also translated into financial success for many of the recurring experts and staff. That's why fans were so surprised when one of its most respected and intriguing contributors, literary expert Rebecca Romney, suddenly stopped appearing on the show. Her absence raised a flurry of questions. What happened to her? Why did she leave so suddenly? Was it her decision, or was she asked to step away? Viewers who have watched Pawn Stars from its earlier seasons will no doubt remember Rebecca Romney. She stood out as one of the few women regularly featured on the show and certainly the most notable female expert in her field. Her expertise in rare books, historical manuscripts, and antique literature set her apart. Whether it was a centuries-old, first edition, or a once popular but long-forgotten publication, Rebecca had a unique ability to assess and explain literary artifacts with both clarity and enthusiasm. Her evaluations were thorough, articulate, and impressively accurate. She combined deep historical knowledge with a sharp eye for market trends, winning respect from the audience as well as the other experts on the show. Interestingly, Rebecca's full name is Rebecca Angelina Ned, but beyond her professional identity, she has been extremely private about her personal life. She hasn't revealed much about her family, her upbringing, or even the location of her birth. That level of privacy might seem unusual in the world of television, where personal stories often become part of a cast member's public persona. Still, even with limited insight into her private life, we do know a great deal about her career, and it's nothing short of impressive. Before she was a regular on Pawn Stars, Rebecca pursued academic interests that might not seem directly related to rare books. She earned a degree in classical studies and linguistics, fields that deal with ancient languages and cultures, but not necessarily with the rare book trade. Her entry into the world of rare books happened in 2007, when she joined Bauman Rare Books, a highly respected rare book dealership. According to accounts, this career turn was something of a coincidence, being in the right place at the right time. While her academic background gave her a solid intellectual foundation, it wasn't enough on its own to make her an expert in antiquarian literature. Recognizing this, Rebecca took a proactive approach. She immersed herself in the subject, eventually enrolling in a rare book school to deepen her knowledge and credentials. This decision was transformative. It marked the beginning of her journey from a salesperson to becoming a gallery manager, and then climbing even further to become senior director at Bauman Rare Books, all within a relatively short period. Her drive to educate herself beyond the minimum requirements was a clear sign of her dedication to her craft. Rebecca's first appearance on Pawn Stars came in 2011, during the show's 4th season. Her presence was immediately distinctive. She didn't just bring information, she brought insight. Her poised manner, clear speech, and quiet confidence set her apart from the usual cast of quirky characters and loud negotiations. Week after week, she evaluated rare books and manuscripts, offering background stories and context that many viewers might otherwise never hear. She remained on the show until 2014, making consistent appearances throughout that time. Her final episode was titled Field Trip, part of the 9th season. However, her role went far beyond simply placing a dollar amount on old books. Thanks to her deep familiarity with rare literature and historical texts, she gave the show an added layer of depth. She brought legitimacy and academic weight to a setting often dominated by negotiation drama and surprise appraisals. she became a fan favorite, not because of flashy moments but because of her intellectual approach and obvious passion for the work. Still, as with any reality show, audiences sometimes question just how real the content is. Rebecca addressed this herself during a Reddit Q&A session. She explained that while the show was indeed based on real appraisals, there was one crucial difference from how things would occur in real life. Whenever she was scheduled to appear, she was informed in advance about the item she would be evaluating. This gave her time to research the piece, its history, condition, market value, so that her assessments were not just off-the-cuff reactions, but grounded in verifiable information. In her view, as long as the appraisals remained accurate and informative, the show retained its integrity. Some of her most memorable appearances involved correcting misconceptions about seemingly valuable books. For instance, in one case, a customer brought in a first edition of Walden by Henry David Thoreau, expecting it to fetch a high price. But after a detailed inspection, Rebecca explained that the edition was actually printed in England, which significantly reduced its value on the American rare book market. She appraised it at just about $100, much to the surprise of the owner. In another episode, a man named John brought in an autographed second edition of Richard Nixon's memoirs. Again, expectations were high due to the presidential signature. But Rebecca's analysis revealed that because it was a second edition, and not a particularly rare one, it held little collector value. She appraised it at around $200. These episodes showcased an important truth about collectibles. Provenance and condition are critical, and not every signed or old book is a treasure. However, it wasn't all low valuations. Rebecca also oversaw some of the show's most impressive appraisals. A rare edition of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain once earned a $5,500 payout from the pawn shop. Even more remarkable was a 1779 military manual by Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben, which he valued at an astounding $88,000. Rebecca has said that, in her professional life, she's handled books valued over $100,000 on multiple occasions, reinforcing her status as a true expert in the field. Despite her popularity and critical role on Pawn Stars, Rebecca Romney's departure was never explained by her or by the production team. Her sudden exit after the 9th season sparked countless theories. Among fans, some speculated she had been let go. Others thought perhaps there had been conflicts behind the scenes. But there's no evidence supporting any of those rumors. What we do know is that her professional timeline may offer some clarity. Around the time she stopped appearing on the show, Rebecca made a major life change, relocating from Bauman's Las Vegas gallery to their branch in Philadelphia. Given the logistical challenges of flying back and forth for filming, it's reasonable to assume that the distance made it impractical for her to continue participating in the show. This theory is supported by her employment history, which aligns closely with her timeline on Pawn Stars. Over the years, fans have tried to reconnect the dots, wondering if she still keeps in touch with Rick Harrison or anyone else from the show. Publicly, there has been no word of continued friendships or reunions, leaving the nature of her current relationship with the show's cast members largely unknown. Professionally, Rebecca continued to advance. As senior director at Bauman Rare Books, she managed a wide portfolio of responsibilities. In addition to being the HR manager, she spearheaded research programs, contributed to the company's marketing strategies, and played a key role in acquisitions. In 2016, she made a significant shift, leaving Bauman to work at Honey and Wax booksellers in Brooklyn. This move seemed to be in line with her passion for literature and collecting. In late 2018, she authored a thoughtful online essay highlighting some of her favorite books that Honey and Wax had sold that year. Among them were a rare Nigerian periodical called Black Orris and a French edition of Edgar Allan Poe's Histoires Extraordinaires. These selections reflected not just her expertise, but her love of uncovering literary gems. Her time at Honey and Wax didn't last long, though. By mid-2019, Rebecca had made another bold move. She left the firm to start her own rare book business. This was not just a career step, it was a leap of independence. She founded Type Punch Matrix, a Washington, D.C.-based company dedicated to carving out a new space in the rare book world. The company has a distinctive mission: to foster diversity, social responsibility, and innovation in the often traditional and exclusive world of rare book collecting.